Hey, what's up guys, and welcome back to Anime King 3. And today I'm going to be giving you what if Naruto was the ultimate Saiyan. Remember to get this one to 100 likes as usual. Share this to all of your friends in your social media platform. And also guys, go ahead and check out the brand new episode of What If Naruto Was Trained by Shao Kahn over on Anime King and enjoy that guys. And remember, if you're new and this is the first time hearing my voice, go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and support. Remember to comment down below and tell me if you're new. I'll be planning talking about to all of you. And also guys, remember to stay tuned for a brand new episode coming over Anime King 2. If you're new, yes, you heard that correctly. I indeed have 3 channels, Anime King 2, Anime King 3, which I post what if on every single day for you guys to enjoy. So go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become a part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and your support. And yeah, without further ado, what is to begin this new episode? Start the intro. So, the last spot we left off, as Naruto was still participating in the tournament, as the matches were taking place, as near a face-off against Kurosaki, the both of them defeat each other as there was a double knockout, chakra exhaustion and defeated. As Naruto saw the Hyuga clan, as they look upset, but Naruto was confused. She gave it her all, but Neji told him that he did not understand. He would never understand. As the rest of the matches took place, as Neji faced off against Ai, Neji stood no chance even with his Byakugan. Ai's speed and strength was just different, as Naruto defeated Akisake. Afterwards, Naruto made his way down there to fight once again, as him and Ai was the last one left. This was the match that people were waiting for after all. Naruto had, well, spilled the beans about him being the son of Minato, and Ai was the son of A. Two fearsome, powerful men that fought in the past, and now their sons were going to be fighting once more, as people were excited to see this. As both boys started out smooth first, not really giving it their all. As the Tishikage was watching everything curiously, he was upset that his team was already out of the running, and Kurosaki had already lost. But he was watching this boy carefully to see what kind of threat he would be in the future. The Raikage was also paying keen attention to Naruto, everyone was. Ai pushed himself up to the maximum when the fight started to get serious as he created a massive ball of electricity around his arm as Naruto performed the technique that Master Roshi taught him, the Kamehameha. He powered it down so he would not obliterate Ai because he would love to fight him again. As the attack hit Ai though, and it was devastating as it threw him right through the arena as Naruto turned his sights towards the Raikage and told him to come. It was his time. The Raikage made his way down to the arena, as he was going to really fight the boy. As the both of them started to fight, the man was fast, incredibly so as Naruto had underestimated him. But Naruto was not one to give up as they fought, as Naruto got some wicked hits in, as the others had returned from the infirmary to watch all of this, as Naruto started to bash his fist into the man's face. The Raikage was stunned by each hit, surprised that the kid was this strong. As both him and Naruto started to go at it once again, they end up shredding the entire arena. They turn it into crumbs and dust as they decimate the floor. They fought like two tanks. As Naruto was getting tired as he fought, he released key blasts, and not to mention a technique that he hasn't really named yet, as he had used it to constrict the Raikage's movements, but the man had shattered it by pushing his power past 60%. As he was a Kage for a reason, and Naruto was strong, but yet he was not strong to completely outpace the man. As in the end, Naruto was tired, but yet, despite all the hits, he would not give up. The Raikage in the crowd was astonished at his resilience, and his refusal to give up no matter what. As Mito was proud for her brother, but he was getting beaten out there, as she didn't want him to get hurt. As Naruto crossed his arms, he was about to perform a technique that he's been working on. A kind of a substitution for the gates that he could not perform because of the no chakra thing. As Naruto, before he could do it though, it seems that Master Roshi was right, his body was not ready for something like this. He muttered a single word, Kaiju, but his body spasmed as he fell, face first unconscious. As he pushed himself too much and his body was not ready for a technique. The Raikage walked over towards the boy. As he gave him his respect, everyone was shocked by that. But the Raikage indeed respected the boy after the show that he just put on, and the unwillingness to give up. The man had truly respected the boy for that. Afterwards, Naruto woke up at the hospital, as he was berated by Mito. But she just wanted to make sure that he was okay. As the Raikage came in, as he praised the boy at his resilience in the battle. And Hiruzen also came, but Hiruzen was told by the Raikage that they had a lot to discuss. As Hiruzen raised an eyebrow at that, curious what the man wanted to talk about. So yeah guys, so basically that's what I thought. You guys can switch across the place, check it out for yourself. So this begin this new episode. We begin this episode at a Russian waterfall. It was massive, triple the size of a normal waterfall. It was located in the area of the land of mountains, but there was an individual falling from it. This individual had black spiky hair, as he was wearing a blue shirt with the Uchiha crest on the back, tan shorts with the shinobi sandals. He had someone in his arms as he fell. It was a little girl. She had dark blue hair. She had hazel eyes, as she was wearing a rather formal clothing, something of, well, royalty, nobility. As a person that she was clutching onto was none other than Sasuke Uchiha himself. Right under the mark of the Uchiha crest was a burning gap on Sasuke's back from the hate that he suffered. The reason why he was currently unconscious and falling. The girl clutched on tightly to him, screamed for him to wake up, but Sasuke would not, as he had jumped off to save her, but he was hit, as there was an individual looking down on them. Suddenly, golden chains shot out as it wrapped around Sasuke and the small child, as it pulled them towards the ridge over to the side. The individual that stood on top of the cliff looked down the throne. The large man jumped off as he started to scale the water going down, chakra on his feet as he ride the wave going down. Sasuke was pulled over towards the ridge. The man was leaping towards it until a lavender eye couldn't reach it through several kunais. They embedded into the rock peak. The kunais exploded because of the paper tags, forcing the man to jump back as he snarled in anger. As he looked back up the ridge, they were gone. Damn it, he cursed to himself. Moments later, in a nearby mountain, the place was full of them after all. Sasuke was still unconscious. The girl had fell asleep after the long drop. Her young mind just couldn't handle it. She was covered over to the side while Sasuke was being tended to by one Hinata Hyuga. Once she was finished, she patched him up as she put his shirt back on and laid him down to rest. She then moved towards the open edge of the cave. They're coming. As she glanced towards her closest friend, which was none other than Mito Uzumaki, who seemed to have grown a bit. Her red hair was a bit more pronounced and longer, as she had grown in stature, but just a slight difference it seems. Same for Hinata and Sasuke as well. We'll fight together, said Hinata, as her voice was a bit shaky, but still, she stood beside her friend. No, I need you to protect Sasuke and Yurai, said Mito. But, Hinata, trust me. I don't want you getting hurt. I'm gonna do something risky. Like? As Mito simply smiled. That smile that tells you that everything was gonna be okay even in the most dire situations. I'm sure Kakashi-sensei will get here before things get too hectic. But what if he doesn't? Well, it's up to you to protect those two and keep them safe. But, Hinata, I'm trusting you to do this, okay? Can you do that for me? Hinata nodded. I'll protect them, she said, her resolve coming back fully. Please, be okay, she said. I will. As Mito formed several clones who stood at the entrance. As she stepped forward, as there was a man, but he was not alone. Two figures flanked his back. The two figures were wearing face masks and bandanas, so you could not see anything except for their eyes. The man on the other hand was exposed. His face was not covered. He was a missing nin from Kiri, as his lightning was like a bloodline basically. His name was Hakisho. He could manipulate his lightning in such a way, so densely powerful, you could call it a bloodline. He just had great mastery over it, but the way he used it was different. As Hakisho chuckled. So you finally stopped running, huh, kid? He said. The smirk on his face never left it once. As Mito stood there, I won't let you get her. As she had to protect the child. It was their mission that had been sidetracked by this man. Mito then closed her eyes. Everything in the real world happened for just a second. But to her, it happened for some time, as she found herself in her mindscape. As Mito stepped forward, as she looked into the darkness of the bars. I know you're in here, she said. There was a growl. What is it this time, child? Well, if you haven't been watching what is going on, you should know I'm in a fair bit of trouble. I thought you didn't want my power, but yet here you are like the rest of them. No, that's not it, she said. When you first met, I told you that I wanted to be different from the others that used you in the past. I saw how much you hated humans, and there must be a reason behind it. But I'm different from them. But in these dire situations, I'm pleading. No, as she dropped to her knees, I'm begging you as she bowed her head. You're a being, far smarter and wiser, and a lot more powerful than I am. And here I am on my knees begging you. Please lend me your power. If you don't, we'll all die, and I won't allow them to hurt my friends. The fox looked towards the pleading girl. If he must say, this child was weird, strange. When she first came to him, she just wanted to talk. The fox didn't give her time of day, but she kept on coming in here over and over again, until she annoyed him enough for him to just be quiet and let her talk. He had given off some of his hate for humans, and she picked up on it. And now she wanted to be different, but now here she was begging, but not taking his power. She was pleading for it. She wanted to understand him. He scoffed at the proclamation, like a human like this could understand him, the greatest Biju of them all. But she would not leave. And with the seal that was placed on him with his power being split in half, he didn't know what would happen if he were to have her die with him inside of her. So he would not chance it. Fine, child. I will give you my power to crush those in your way. As chakra started to seep from under the bars, Mito looked up as she felt a jolt. Thank you, she said. The fox looked towards her with his gaze. It did not shift, but there was a slight crack in his demeanor, even thanking him for his power. You won't regret it, she said as she left the mindscape. Back in the real world, the ground cracked as red chakras seeped from her pores. A cloak appeared around her, but there was no tails. Instead of tails, chains emerged. A single chain emerged from behind her as it was coated in the red chakra. As a goal, seemed like it was kind of melting. The chain whipped out as it gorged a huge chunk of the earth and threw it. The three men had to separate as they flanked Mito's sides, and one appeared behind her, which is the leader, who raised his hand as he brought it down. Mito turned as she shouted a roar. The man was blown back as he slammed into the side of the mountain. The other two then rushed towards her as she leaped. She twisted in mid-air as the speed and strength given to her was incredible as she flashed through hand sign. As she extended her chain as it pierced right through the wall as she used it to hang herself upside and down. Flashing through hand signs, she breathed flame from her mouth. As it came down on the two missing mains, forcing them to jump back, they launched Senbon towards her. She waved her hand and destroyed them as she launched herself like a wild animal. But before she could reach, an eruption of electricity came from the heavens. But before it could hit her though, there was another spark over to the side that acted like a conductor as the electricity rushed towards it. Standing there was the one and only Kakashi Hatake, his hand coated in electricity. "Mito," he said. "Sensei." Kakashi looked towards the girl. "Are you okay?" "I'm fine," she said. "I'm glad that you finally made it. Sorry, it took me so long. You did well protecting the others. They were not just this three. He had more friends. He had put them all to attack Kakashi knowing that the man was a Jonin. And a few of them were Chunin ranks. They were easy foe for Kakashi to take down, but there were a lot of them. So Kakashi was held back, while Mito and the others had to fight." As Kakashi glanced over towards the cave, as he saw the unconscious Sasuke, he lifted up his headband, as his famous Sharingan spun wildly. "I do not fear you, Kakashi Hatake," said the man as he stepped forward. "Let me make you wish you hadn't said those words," said Kakashi, as he moved. This time he was dead serious. The fight didn't last that long, with Mito helping out with the other two. It was ended rather quickly, with the three missing ninjas dead. Once it was done, Mito dropped to her knees. Kakashi caught her before she could drop face first. This was her second time taking on the Kyuubi's chakra. The first time, it was anger that brought it out, when she thought that Sasuke had died on the bridge, when she faced off against Haku and Sabusa. But this time the fox gave in to her willingly, because she asked him for it. But her body was still not accustomed to using it so frequently, and not to mention for so long. As the chain receded back in her, "You did well. You can rest. I'll handle everything from now on," he said to her. As Mito nodded, her body went limp in his arms as she passed out. Kakashi brought her inside, as the clones poofed away. Hinata was relieved. "Kakashi-sensei," as he gave her a smile. "You did well protecting your comrade in the charge. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you also, Kakashi." As she smiled at that, Kakashi looked towards his students. A couple years has passed since Naruto had taken the Chunin exams. In Kumo, 2 years and some months, Mito, Sasuke, and Hinata was 14 years old. Even though Kakashi didn't want to admit it, he got the perfect team out of every other team. And not to mention, with how good they got along, their teamwork was impeccable. Able to hold their own against a Jonin level shinobi, and 2 Chunins by themselves. If it wasn't for Jonin, Kakashi knew that they would have defeated those other 2 Chunins by themselves. His team was ready as the Chunin exams were coming in Konoha in a couple of weeks, and his team was ready to take part in them. Everyone would agree, the Hokage, and most importantly her brother. As for Naruto, well, he has been up to a lot in the past 2.5 years. Meanwhile, several girls were captured. They were not just normal girls. They were Kunoichi from the Netsuko village. The Netsuko village is a village that is populated only by Kunoichis. But they were not the only ones. Several individuals were also captured as well. As there was a man standing there. He had the girls in crates like they were some kind of animals. He had white hair that went down to his back, bordering on a line of silver. He had an X on his cheek. He was a muscular fellow, judging by the loose shirt that he was wearing. "You did good, boys," he said. There were several individuals around him, as they all chuckled a bit. "Thank you, sir." As the man looked towards one of the women in the cage, as she gave him a glare that would send most men to their knees, but he simply chuckled and waved it off. "Don't try to scare me, darling. It's not gonna work," he said. "But you girls will definitely be worth the cost. After all, you girls in Netsuko village are so hard to acquire. When it is known that I have you in my possession, the money will start to pile in." This man was known as the Bandit. but his real name was Silver. He was from Konoha, but no one missing name. Reason being, he was obsessed with money. Strange thing to be obsessed with. Well, not so strange when you think about it, but he was literally obsessed. Growing up, he realized, as he grew up in the slums of Konoha, that money was everything. Money made the world go around. When he became a ninja and he rose to the ranks, it was not enough. So he started to do illegal things. Things that would be considered shady until he pushed it over the edge and start to kidnap, get ransoms. He started to do things that would make Konoha look shameful. But before he could be fully captured, he was able to escape, and he's been a missing link for years now. As he looked towards the girls in Netsuko village, he then turned towards his man behind him. He had personally trained each and every one of them. That is why they were able to capture the girls, but a few of his men were dead. Showing how strong these girls were, they weren't ordinary in the sense of anything. After all, they were trained to breed and fight as warriors, strong Amazonian women. As he smiled at that, "Maybe, I'll keep you for myself," he said, as he looked towards the one that was glaring at him. The girl spat as Silver stepped aside so it wouldn't catch him. He wagged his finger in front of the bar. Now, you can't be so rude. You might get," as he pulled out a kunai, "hurt." She stood her ground though as she did not move. It was then a voice spoke. "Lay a hand on her, and your end will be painful." As the girls all got a hopeful look in their eyes. As Silver turned as he saw, a few of his guys thrown back. As the others got on guard. "How did she get in here?" he said. "Sir, she took out the front perimeter." "By herself?" said Silver, confused. "Hey, who are you?" The girl stood proudly as her green eyes reflected that she was not scared one bit. "I am Shizuka, heir to Netsuko village, and you have my people currently in your possession." Before she could finish saying what she was saying, the man started to chuckle. "I must say, this is a delight. The soon-to-be leader of Netsuko village." As her hair was done up in a ponytail, as she was wearing a black bodysuit. She had a sword strapped to her back, as she had pouches around her waist. The man's smile was lecherous. All the guys around started to move around her, with a smile on their face. "It was stupid of you to come here, girl. And now you won't be leaving. Not that you should know, but I'm not alone. My husband is also here." "How much time do I have to tell you? We're not getting married," said a voice. All the guys turned as they saw someone in front of the cage. Silver was shocked. Just what the hell was going on? This person managed to somehow pass him. And not to mention the person back was turned to him, like he did not care. Silver couldn't believe the audacity of this person. He was wearing a black long sleeve, with a kanji for strength on the back, black pants, as the long sleeve had orange streamers going down it. Just the side they were so small you could barely notice. His hair was strange. As Silver narrowed his eyes, why did his hair look so familiar? The cut of it, spiky, with this round clump over the side. As the person reached out and held onto the lock, it started to electrocute. As the man held onto it same way though as he crushed it in his palm. As he dusted his hand off. "Are you girls okay?" he asked. "Behind you," one of them said, as Silver brought down a rather massive head cleaver. The person turned and reached out his hand, as the blade slammed into his palm. Silver was shocked when he could not bring it down or move it. What the hell? As he added more force to take this person's head off. "As I was saying, are you girls okay? Do any of you need medical assistance?" "No, we're quite fine." "Are you perhaps assisting Lady Shizuka?" "Yes, in a way," said Naruto. "I was sent here to retrieve you girls from the Fire Nation, seeing that some of the Netsuko Kunoichi got captured as well. And we met up along the way. We decided to make it a joint mission." The girls were shocked. He was talking to them so calmly and yet he was holding back that massive blade that was not even cutting him. Silver's face started to twist in anger as he started to apply chakra. The ground underneath him started to creak as he started to release more chakra than necessary, trying to cut the bastard's head off. But it was then that the man finally started to get to his feet as he gripped his fingers into the blade. Silver was shocked when he heard crack. Boom! The blade exploded, shocking Silver to no end. He stepped back as he looked at his broken blade. It was then that he felt a massive gust as he covered his eyes, as his ninjas were blown away by Shizuka, who reached in and delivered devastating strikes to the others, as she carved them with her blade, showing them no mercy for what they did to her people and what they were going to do with them. "Husband, are you okay?" she said, as Naruto turned towards her. "How many times do I have to tell you? I'm not your husband. Tradition states, I am not a part of your tradition, nor will I agree with this. You were the one to challenge me and you lost. So, as a reward of my winning, I don't have to be your husband." "That is not how things go," she said, as Naruto sighed in annoyance. The girls inside the cage were shocked. She lost? As that is how the tradition of Netsuko village go, as they fought strong males, so they could create powerful offsprings, and once they were defeated they were supposed to take them as their bride. But if the males lost, they were supposed to be killed. And she had challenged him thinking that he was a part of Silver Gang, and she lost miserably, but he did not hurt her though. As Naruto picked himself up, Silver had enough of this. He flashed you hand sign. "I'll send you all to hell." Fire style. Fire. Silver was frightened as the hand slammed over his mouth, preventing him from doing anything. He mumbled as he tried to get free, but he could not, as Naruto pulled his fist back before slamming it into Silver's gut. The man's eyes rolled back in the back of his head as he dropped down unconscious by just a single punch. The other Kunoichis looked shocked at that, as thus the girls as well. As Shizuka came over, she raised her blade as she looked towards Naruto, who turned his back as she drove it into Silver's chest, killing him. She would not allow such abomination to live, as Naruto was not against killing or anything like that. But after what he did to her people, and what he was going to do with them, it was all in her rights to make sure that he never lived to see another day. "Come with me, girl," said Naruto. The girls looked towards him as there was this feeling coming from him. It felt like a feeling of just happiness, as they saw his headband, as most of them were from the Fire Nation except for the Netsuko village Kunoichis. All they wanted to do was go back home. "I'll be taking you back home." "Husband, we must," as Naruto got up as he placed both hands on Shizuka's shoulder. "Are you finally accepting my offer?" she said. "No. I need you to look at me. Your stupid tradition is just that. Stupid. Husband, I will allow you to speak for now, but stop insulting my tradition." As Naruto sighed. "Just listen to me. You don't know me, and I barely know you. And you don't love me, and I don't love you either. We do not even know anything about each other. So this whole marriage thing, because I defeated you, is just plain wrong. And listen to me clearly. It's not gonna happen," said Naruto. "But no," said Naruto. "Go and find someone that you actually care about. And if you're gonna be leader of this village, you can change this tradition. So if you don't want to do it, don't do it. But it's not that simple." "Why?" said Naruto. "I mean, leaders can change things, right?" "Look, I don't know what to tell you, but we're not gonna get married. So don't do anything crazy like hunt me down or anything like that, okay? Now girls, will you come with me? I'll be bringing you back home." As the girls started to file out, it was about 9 of them, as Naruto led them through the entrance. One of the Netsuko women came up to Shizuka. "My lady, did he really defeat you?" "Yes," said Shizuka, as she looked towards him. Naruto Uzumaki no Mikaze was someone strange, yet so powerful, so nice, yet so deadly at the same time. It was just so weird. Despite what their traditions say, he doesn't want to marry her. Moments later, As the girls were outside, as Shizuka came out with the next kunoichis, they heard loud thumps in the forest, like something was breaking down. What is that? One of the kunoichis asked. It's Naruto-san. He said that he will be right back. What is he doing? I'm not sure. A moment later, all the girls saw something emerging from the forest, something large. It was the bark of a tree, but it was shifted into a way, like a boat, as it was hollowed and empty on the inside. And someone was carrying it. The girls were shocked at the strength, as Naruto was holding it above his head, as he placed it down. Alright girls, let's get you all back home. They all looked at him. What are you doing? Don't worry, it's a quicker trip back home. Trust me, said Naruto. I'm sure you all want to return back to your family and your friends, and your loved ones. So, it's enough space, just hop in. The girls looked at each other, as one of them at the front nodded. She seemed to be trusted by the others as they all filed in, as Naruto turned towards Shizuka. So this is goodbye, she said. Well, perhaps we'll meet each other again in the future, said Naruto. But for now, remember this, traditions are stupid. Why would you marry someone you have no feelings for? Have a wonderful life if we don't see each other again, Shizuka. And you too, girl, said Naruto as he looked towards the next kunoichis. I hope something like this never happen again. The girls all squeaked as Naruto lifted the massive thing, surprising them. It was then his feet started to take off, shocking the Netsuko, kunoichis, and Shizuka as she never saw him float. He was flying. As Naruto flew off, wow, one of the Netsuko kunoichis said, shocked by the display of power and not to mention flight. It didn't take too long after that, as Naruto was back to the village rather quickly. As Naruto entered through the window, Hiruzen sighed at his desk. You know, Naruto, I have a door. Yeah, but that's more easier, said Naruto, as he flopped in and dropped on the couch. He then placed a scroll on the old man's table. Another mission complete. As Hiruzen pulled out a folder, this is your 612. Exactly, said Naruto with a smile. I suppose that is enough experience, not to mention all the teams I've beat so far on missions. Come on, old man. It's only right. Hiruzen sighed. As much as you're rushing things, you're right. Never has anyone go through the ranks that quickly. In just 2.5 years, being able to lead, protect, solo missions, everything equaling up to 600. Hiruzen had to say he was impressed. Naruto has been doing back-to-back missions, and not just C or D, B, A, and even S. Missions that normally a Chunin wouldn't go on, but Naruto was not normal in one bit. As Hiruzen looked towards the boy, Naruto had grown. He was 16-year-old right now. Something was up with his hair though, which Naruto hated. His hair never grew. It always stayed at that same position no matter what. It never grew one bit. And that was kind of weird, which he always complained about. But his physique, and not to mention he just sprouted. When he turned 15, he just sprouted tall, which was strange. Him and his sister has proven to be a force to be reckoned with, but Naruto has garnered a reputation for himself. There was many names that he was being called by out there. The force of Konoha, the might of Konoha, everything has to do with strength and power. As Naruto had shown that he was a monster when it comes towards fighting, and the things that he could do seemed like magic to most shinobis, because they were never heard of. He has gotten so strong there has been several offers. One of them for the Guardian 12. The daimyo wanted Naruto assistance to become one of his Guardian 12s, but Naruto turned down the offer. That was a shocking feat on its own, as the daimyo looked for specific persons. But it was not just that, it was the marriage proposals. Each day there was a new one. Sometimes there were several on his decks. Not just from Konoha allies all over the Elemental Nation. People wanted to become a part of the Namikaze bloodline. And they heard about Naruto as well. Ever since his fight with the Raikage, his name has spread far and wide. Because that was 2.5 years ago. and he was able to stand his ground to the Raikage. No one knew how stronger he was right now. How much more powerful he has become. Alright, fine, Hiruzen said. In 2 months, the exam will take place. And I'm giving you my Hokage stamp, special approve of joining. As Naruto smiled at that, as most Chunin had to wait years upon years. But because of how fast he has grown and things that he has done so far, Hiruzen believed that Naruto would make a fine Jonin. Oh yeah, said Naruto. You know of Netsuko village, right? Yes, what of them? Well, I fought this Kunoichi from there. As Hiruzen narrowed his eyes, you defeated her, right? Yeah, said Naruto. She's the heir to become the next leader. And now she says that we're married, Hiruzen said, finching for Naruto as he sighed. Yeah, what's up with that? It's their tradition. You defeated the heir of their village. Hiruzen placed a hand to his forehead, handling one of the normal. Netsuko Kunoichis were fine, but the heir. Did you at least talk to her? Yeah, I made it clear that that's not gonna happen. Hiruzen sighed. Hiruzen wanted Naruto to have a normal life like Minato and Kushina did, to fall in love. He didn't want to force anything, so he wouldn't allow this to happen. If it comes up, I'll handle it. Alright, old man, said Naruto. Well, I'm off. As with that, Naruto made his way, leaving the office. This was gonna be a hassle. If it was a normal Kunoichi, it would be fine, but the heir. He was sure that this would not be the final of it. Meanwhile, as Naruto made his way, he did not go towards the Sarutobi compound. Hiruzen had took care of Naruto and Mito, so there was no need to discuss finances. But now that they have grown, both mentally and physically, he believed that it was time a year ago to give them all that was left for them. Minato and Kushina had left a lot for them in the finances part. The house was destroyed, so the scrolls and everything were destroyed on the night of the Kyuubi attack. But Kushina was the last known Uzumaki at her time, and all of the royalties from Uzu had been transferred over to Konoha, so it all was left for them, and not to mention Minato stipend as Hokage. So all of that was given to them, and they had used it to build a compound. While he was sad that they weren't always going to be there anymore, they always came by to visit him and Konohamaru. But they had built a hefty compound. It was close by to the Hyuga compound, a plot that was there, as he had bought it and built a compound. There were several rooms in there just in case. In case Sasuke or Hinata wanted to stay over or anyone else, as he had many friends in the village. As Naruto entered, he noticed that Mito was not here, but someone else was here though. As he made his way to the kitchen, as he went to the refrigerator and brought out a bottle of water as he started to sip on it. What, no missions today? He asked. The purse was on the couch as she was watching television. Actually, I got back from one early this morning. You just got back, I presume? Yeah, said Naruto. As he looked down, the person that was sitting there was none other than Neri Hyuga, a close friend of Naruto's. The term seemed rather strange given that they were basically enemies not too long ago. Well, a lot happened to change the situation. Flashback. It has been a couple of months since Naruto had seen Neri. He had seen Guy, Lee, and even Neji, but he did not really speak to Neji that much. But she was like she had fell off the face of the earth. He had asked Hinata about her, but she said that she was at the compound, mostly. But surprisingly, they were given a mission together, as they were supposed to transport an envoy towards this location. As tonight was the first watch, as Naruto turned his head, as his sensitive hearing picked up something. As he slowly made his way, as he saw, it was Neri. They hadn't spoken much, other than the mission parameters. As Naruto glanced down towards her from the trees, as she didn't seem to see him, her Byakugan was not activated. As she was just standing there, looking out at the vast wilderness. As Naruto saw her ball her fist in anger, there was always something up with her. He jumped down, his feet touching the ground slightly, barely making a sound. As she twitched slightly, it seems like she knew that he was now here. "What do you want?" she asks. "Come on, is that how you treat an old friend?" "We were never friends per se," she said to him. "Yeah, that's right. So what's up? You're angry." "Did something happen?" Naruto asks. She had made Chunin despite her... Well, she didn't lose, she tied with Kurasuke, but she still made Chunin. "Figure you'd be over the moon by now seeing that you're Chunin." She glanced towards him as she had this look in her eye. A look of anger, pain, regret, hate. As Naruto was confused by the look, but it all vanished in a second, as she just turned away from him, returning her gaze back to the foliage. "It seems Chunin doesn't mean much." "What do you mean?" said Naruto. "Why should I tell you anything?" she asks. As Naruto sighed, "You know, I thought that we could have a civil conversation, and at least talk, seeing that we might not see each other for months again. But do what you want. I'll go back to doing what I want." As he was walking away, she grabbed his hand, stopping him, as Naruto was surprised by that. "I'm sorry." He froze. He never thought you'd hear that word come from her mouth, ever. "I'm angry, not at you. You've always tried to be a bit nice to me, yet I'm just angry. So I'm sorry, okay?" "Why are you angry?" said Naruto. "You wouldn't understand. Try me. It wouldn't be bad to have someone listen." She sighed. "Perhaps you're right. We won't see each other for months again." As Naruto was surprised she was actually going to talk to him. Well, something must have changed. "I thought that by becoming a Chunin, I would be able to help change things. But because of my tie with Kurasuke, I was looked down upon. I became Chunin, but the cost was still too heavy." "I don't understand," said Naruto. "The reason I wanted to become a Chunin was because I wanted to up in the rank so I can become the next clan head." "What?" said Naruto. "I thought that Hinata was..." She looked towards him. "Things are complicated, things that you don't understand. But let's just say I was being bred to become clan head by my mother and a few others. But at my loss, the others, they lost faith in my ability to lead the clan. And my mother agreed with them. They said I was trained, and it was a waste. If I could not defeat a single stone Kunoichi." As Naruto looked down, as he felt bad for her now. "So my reputation has gone down, even though I became Chunin. It seems like it was just a waste of time. But there are still a few others that still on my side. But my mothers and the other ones has turned their gaze away." "What about your father?" Her fist clenched once more, as she released a breath. "My father was a part of the branch house. I love my father. My mother fell in love with him, and they had me. Something that's not supposed to happen because he's a part of the branch house. My mother always said that she loved him in the beginning, but when it was found out that he was my father, her status was in jeopardy. As a being member should not fraternize with a branch member. So she cut all ties with him and tossed him aside like he was nothing but trash. And she forbade me from ever seeing him. If I did, I would not be the one to suffer, my father would. That accursed March," she said. She clenched her fist. "But he died. He died on a mission. I barely got to spend more time with my father after my mother and my father relationship was found out. And I lost him. He meant everything to me." As a single tear fell from her eye, she glanced towards him. "I don't even know why I'm telling you this. It's not like you care or anything. It's just..." She was cut off as Naruto pulled her into a hug. At first, she tried to squirm her way out of it until She broke down in tears. Something that she could never show her when the other Hyugas are. She would be mercilessly mocked for being soft and pathetic. But here, with him holding on to her, she felt herself melting into tears as she couldn't help it. They stay like that. Until she finally broke away. As she gave him a stern look. If you speak of this to anyone, you're dead. End of flashback. And from there things just escalate to the point of them becoming good friends. She even started to become friendly with Mito after she came over one day, as she was here. And now she just came over randomly, to blow off some steam while she was not at the Hyuga compound. As she couldn't help being there every time. They were just too much for her. And they had gave her a key to enter, so it wasn't a problem. Did you hear? The Chunin exams are coming up in a couple of weeks. Do you think your sister would take part? As Naruto sat down the opposite chair over to his side, leaning his head back. Well, given her strength and growth, and the amount of missions that she has taken part in so far, I'm sure she will, said Naruto. She's ready. Well, if you believe she is, then perhaps she is, said Neri, as she leaned back, looking towards the TV. You know, your name is being spread all over, said Neri, as she looked towards him. Even in our clan, there has been some talks about having you marry one of the Hyugas. Is that so, said Naruto. It's a shame that they don't know that you're in a relationship with someone else. Have you told anyone else, she asks. Just you and my sister. I haven't even told the old man, said Naruto. Why not? It's not a problem of not trusting him or anything like that. It's just I haven't gotten around to it. And considering that she doesn't live here, it's a bit strange. But she's coming for Chunin exams. But isn't she already at Chunin? Yeah, but she's coming here to, well, see me. As Naruto smiled at that. How romantic, said Neri, in a sarcastic voice. Oh, is the poor little Neri jealous? Of what, you? Don't make me laugh, she said, as she shook her head, as she turned her head to the side. As Naruto chuckled at that. You know, I never thought we'd become friends. Huh, me neither, she said. But I guess, things are weird. As she lay back in the couch. So, you're going for Chunin exams, aren't you? You know about that, said Naruto. Yes. There are several others that know that want to take part in it as well. But the Hokage hasn't given them his permission. How about you? I've heard that you've done over 600 plus missions already. That's insane. Not that insane if you're me, said Naruto. Cocky much, she said. Not really, said Naruto. Well, I guess you have the right to say that. Not many people know how strong you exactly are. They tend to underestimate you. But those who do, well, your enemies, won't live to see the other day. So, if you become a Jonin, you mean when I become a Jonin? As she shook her head, yes, when you become a Jonin. Or you can take on a team. I'm not sure, said Naruto. I'll have to see how I feel about them first. I mean, I'm different, you know that, said Naruto. Yeah. So it'd be weird for me to teach them my... Well, I can teach them taijutsu and enhance their strength and speed, but other than that, not much, said Naruto. Yeah, the whole key thing, right? Yeah, said Naruto. But you can fly. That's pretty awesome. Yeah, it is, said Naruto. As he always remembered the day it was. It was funny. He was falling off a cliff. And he had learned how to fly. Stupid, but funny. There was a buzz at the gate. As Naruto raised an eyebrow, wondering who that was after all. Mito had her key. As he got to his feet, I'll be right back. As Neri watched him leave, she had a regretful look on her face. As she watched him, as that regretful look turned into sadness. As she leaned back deeper in the sofa and clutched her hand to her chest. Meanwhile, as Naruto made his way, he sighed in annoyance. Standing at the gate was none other than Jiraiya the Sannin himself. As Naruto did not like the man same way, even after 2.5 years, but there was something that he had that Naruto wanted. Information regarding his sister. And Naruto would do anything to protect his sister. there was a group rising up. Some group known as the Akatsuki, and they were collecting tailed beasts. Jiraiya had come to him inform him about the threat out there, as they hadn't made a move yet. So Naruto was cautious enough to let Kakashi take his sister on these missions, but if the group started to move, she would have to stay within Konoha, where he could protect her. He knew that she would be upset by that, but better safe than sorry, until he crushed that group, as he would not allow them to touch her. But she was fine. As Naruto looked toward his hand, she had painted these seals on him. If she was in trouble, she would send chakra to them and call them, and he could find her. It was not visible right now, but when she was in trouble, he would know. As Naruto made his way towards the gate, as Jiraiya gave him this smile, as Naruto sighed, "Come on kid, let me in," Jiraiya said. As Naruto paused, "You know, you can't tell me what you want to tell me outside." "Come on kid, I have a lot to tell you," Jiraiya said. "Really?" "I also bumped into someone," Jiraiya told him, with a smirk on his face. "Who?" Jiraiya wiggled his eyebrows. "I was given a letter to give to you, but if you don't let me in, I will give it to you. She's a rather lovely young lady. I'm sure you want to hear what she has to say." "Wait, you know?" "Well, I did not, but judging from this letter, and the way she spoke about you, there must be something going on." "I'm proud," Jiraiya said, as Naruto sighed in annoyance. He opened the gate and let the man in, as Jiraiya gave him a nod of thanks. Come on," said Naruto as he closed the gate behind him, as he started to walk back towards the house. As Jiraiya walked behind him, he was just glad that he was given a chance to at least have a proper conversation and sit down and talk with him, and Mito as well. He missed out on a lot in the beginning, but he was going to make up for all of that. Things were still a bit rocky, so he did not rock the boat too much, but he was just happy that he was given a chance to be a part of their life. But guys, be in subscribe right here. If you want to make sports, do like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notification to stay posted. But I'm off now, see you guys soon, peace.